Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the next Simply Colorful Fibercast. Today's date is July 20th, 2018. My name is Lynn Marquidant, and I'm your host. Welcome. And you can see that I'm a few hours early because I completely forgot that we have a baby shower to go to tonight. So grab a project and we're going to sew together. I'm making more Dear Jane blocks. I hope you'll join me. You can quilt, you can knit, you can do whatever you feel like. Just watch, multitask, do whatever you do best. But this is our time together. So, for those of you who may be out there, hello, early. For those of you who may be surprised, this is on Memorex if you're tuning in at 8 p.m. tonight. And the reason that I won't be here at 8 is we're going to my nephew's, they're calling it a baby queue. So my cousin Heidi is giving this for her nephew James and his wife Caitlin, who are expecting their first baby. And it starts at 7 p.m. And I wanted to show you, and it's one of those, it's a boy-girl baby shower. So both men and women can come. So Bob and I are going together. And you're supposed to bring gifts, or you can bring gifts, unwrapped. So I wanted to show you what my mother had made a few weeks ago, and she sent over, and you know what? I'm going to undo it so you can see it. It's beautiful. It feels so soft. It's a pretty little sweater, and then the hat I just pinned to it. So what a lucky little baby this is going to be. So that's one. I just love it. And again, you're supposed to, I'm going to have to fold it again. We're supposed to bring these unwrapped, just labeled with who it's from. There we go. And I guess this gives us more time to play and not just sit around and watch the mother-to-be open the gifts, which is just fine. I'm open to whatever people want these days. Oh, so I undid that. Let's see if I can do this again. And I know this isn't why you tuned in. I just wanted to share with you this present. And then I went crazy at Kohl's. And I got these cute little outfits. They're from Carter's. How about this one? Super handsome like Daddy. That'll be cute. That one is a fire truck. And I tried to get them big, so because I know that all I know about babies is that they grow up. That's all I know. Anyway, let's get this wrapped up, and then I have some Dear Jane blocks to make. Okay. Going this around the wrong way. I have lots to catch everyone up on. I love not traveling this week. We've had beautiful weather here in the East Coast the last couple of days. It's going to get rainy and muggy again, but at least the last couple of days were nice. Oh, and I'll have to tell you about my mechanical abilities. I fixed a lawnmower this week. I even ordered the part. Okay, there's that. But again, that's not why you tuned in. We're going to quilt. Those in there. I'm using a fabric place bag to carry it in. For those of you on the East Coast, or even down in Alexandria, Virginia, you'll know Fabric Place. Can't escape it. Fabric is in our lives. Okay, so when last we left the Dear Jane saga, I'm going to start calling it a saga. It's no longer an adventure or a journey. It's turning into, hopefully won't turn into a tragedy. We are up to, are we up to the E's? I think we're up to the E's. Okay, and I told myself I wouldn't go ahead, but I already have a little bit, but I'm not going to. E4, Buffalo Tree Hopper. That's the one we're going to make. For anyone who might want to do this, just so you know, I printed out several of the blocks from my Dear Jane software. If you go to simplycolorful.com, you can download Dear Jane software. You have to buy it, but so I'm not using that as an excuse for why I don't jump back into Dear Jane. So I highly recommend that. If you really want to get cranking on Dear Jane, print out some of the instructions ahead of time for multiple of these. And okay, so here it is. Buffalo tree topper. Well, that looks easy enough. A little skewy. That's what we're making, okay? So, given that's what we're making, we're going to use the white, of course. We know that this is next door to it, this green. So, I think maybe I want to do this one. I like this one. Got this at Ryco the other day. Although this was kind of cool. I'll show you this one. Isn't that a great print? I think it's from the 80s, I think. I'll have to try and find something that I can keep it. So it's not new, but doesn't it look like a new quilting pattern? Okay. So I think this is what we want to do. Yeah, let's do this. It'll be striking. Let's turn this on. Okay. Contrast is king, baby. Okay. So now I cut out my, this is going to be paper pieced. I know this is getting probably a little old. And next week, I will have the brown paper bags ready to send. Do you believe it? Do you believe it? So all our patrons, get ready. We are going to do a mystery quilt, and I cannot wait. Okay, here's that. Let's get this iron. Really didn't iron it very well. I'm so impatient. Okay, let's just cut out our whites then. Do this. Some of you may be wondering if I did my hand stitching from last week. No, it's been busy again. But I sure liked not traveling this week for work. And I know everyone's busy, so and I've even read those blogs that say, just stop having your rote answer be, I'm so busy. Because everyone's busy these days. Have to just not be so busy. I think intentionally choose to live our lives in a less frantic way. It's hard though with all this technology, and I know we've talked about this before. And it's easy to say, but it's like everyone has come, or bosses anyway, have come to expect things. And I know I have too. I'm much less patient than I used to be, and I expect things to be there when I ask. Like, for example, I'll give you a great example. So I've been thinking about going to visit my mother. Oh, I should say, before I tell you this story, if you are out there and you have something you're working on, send it to Lynn at simplycolorful.com. Lynn at simplycolorful.com. And I'll show it on the air. But here's an example of how I have come to expect things right away, and I have to stop that, is I've been thinking for a few days that come Friday, if I got all of my work done, including a couple of quilts that for customers done, that I would like to go down to visit my mother. Now, as you know, my mom lives on an island, and so do you think I contacted her in any reasonable time frame to see if she would be available? Nope, not until this morning did I text her. and ask if she could come pick me up and if I could come down and visit her, just to pick me up at the boat. Now, how you couldn't do that years ago, and I have to learn that. Now, fortunately, she was right there, which is a blessing, and she answered me right back. But really, people have lives too. So anyway, the message is to plan ahead, not take anything for granted in this instant world we live in, and always know you're going to waste fabric when you paper piece. Cross stitch that one. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Ding. Okay, so there is white for the big 4 pieces. And then pink. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. And I really, I promise you, for our patrons for the brown bag mystery, which again, I'll describe in a minute, I am going to find myself a boom that can go overhead and we can film what's happening right here closely. I so enjoy when Alyssa Thomas at Penguin and Fish does it. I love that. And I've been into Best Buy a couple of times, and they just don't sell it. They keep referring me back to the web, so that is where I will go. So now I'm cutting all these little pieces. And now that should be good. Now we have to cut this big piece. To fit. And then there are 4 little pieces. Okay. This looks like a Y seam. Uh-oh. It's okay, we can do it. Okay. That. I'm going to draw this one, I think. Now this, I'm even going to use my friction pen. Does anyone still use these, or are you afraid? Be very afraid. These friction pens are supposed to iron off. I think that's the deal, right? Erasable. I don't know if water erases or heat, but I'm using it on the back of the fabric, so we should be fine. Got a funny little side clicker. Okay. There we go. Oh, you can hardly see that. Okay, so there's that middle piece. Now what we need is this very little teeny tiny triangle in the middle, which I should have plenty here. Okay. So we do this. Now we're ready to put our stitch length down to 1.8. And we're just going to remember to follow the numbers. So if it says 1, do 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason being you won't get yourself into a pickle where you can't overlap your edges and your seams. So I finger press this open, 2 pieces. Now see on the back, ooh, someone's there. See how it goes 1, 2, 3 is this big piece. I'd be tempted to do 4, and I think either one you could do actually. But I'll follow directions. Who's out there? Hey, KB. KB's out there. So, she says, so did Mom agree to pick you up, or did she suggest you call a taxi? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't finish my story. Within minutes, she wrote right back and she said, yes, she would come pick me up. I'm sure she'd pick you up too if you wanted to meet us there. Get this, I'm taking the 7 a.m. boat over. So I figure I love to do that, you know. I love to get up early and just get my coffee and drive. So I figure I'll get up at what, 4:30? Sound right? Are you done with work, KB? KB Stir? And if Katie's out there, congratulations to her. Katie is, oh, we should talk about this, is a friend of my sister's and mine down in Pennsylvania. She is about ready to retire. She's counting it in days. And she is one of the people who is going to the Blue Elvis session next January with us. So if anyone is still thinking of Missouri Star going to the retreat with us, there are beds available. Katie is a wonderful, fun human being. And we have Becca and Gail are going to meet us there, and we would love to have you join us there too. It's purely for fun. And we've already been brainstorming, Becca and I, about the fact that it could possibly snow. It is January, after all, and I do know that is a possible objective or obstacle, but we figure we're going to take the chance and then imagine how fun it would be if after we get there, there's a snowstorm and we could be inside at that Missouri Retreat Center sewing up a storm, eating 3 solid meals a day. It's one of my favorite parts. You don't go hungry there. Okay. So, hopefully, did I do that right? Just barely. Okay, so there's one piece. KB would have done this better, that's for sure. So I know I'm all over the place already. Did I tell you about the Patreon brown bag mystery quilt? What happens is every Simply Colorful patron, so you just sign up at Patreon, will receive a brown paper bag, a lunch bag, with a piece of material in it. And with that material, we will, over the course of September and October, we will make a quilt with it, and we will get instructions, secret instructions every week on what to do. We may throw in another little fun twist. So get your creativity hats on. Okay, so there's one. See, when I don't hold it though, look at how off it is. Ay, ay, ay. I don't know if you can see that. But we are going to go with it. Because being done is more important than being perfect. Or something like that. I'm just trying to stretch the fabric. That's why I won't win any piecing contests. Okay. So hold this up. Oh, so KB, if you're still out there, guess who? First off, I changed the filter on the lawnmower and I cleaned it. I haven't changed the oil yet, but I have new oil. I just haven't gotten that far. Basically, the coil that holds the throttle, maybe, open, broke. So it's when on this particular, it's a John Deere hand push mower, a JS20 if you must know. And we've used it for years. I love that thing. It doesn't break. But in this case, it did that contraption that you pull, hold down, and then you, not the I'm really sorry. I shouldn't be allowed to talk about these things without a cheat sheet right in front of me. Anyway, my John Deere push mower, there was a cable that was broken and I had to reorder it. I had to go find a supplier out in Millbury. I did that, 146 Tractor Supply. They ordered it for me. I went back and picked it up. I brought it home and it was the right part. I was able to take off the old part, fix it, and mow the lawn. So it was very satisfying. The end. And in order to buy that part, they're so tricky. They get me to walk through that John Deere, basically showroom with all those tractors. Now, we have a very, very, very small lawn. There is no need for a tractor, and there never will be. But they make you walk through this. It's like walking through a brand new car shop. And you even see over in the corner is the salesperson. Ready, he's eyeing you, ready to pounce. I'm sure they have the finance manager in the back behind double glass, watching to see if they have an unsuspecting victim. Anyway, I passed right through, but you just want to sit on those tractors. Or I do. It's the same thing like lava. It's the same or different. Did I ever tell you why I don't ever want to see lava in person? Is that like tractors where I want to sit, or like a dog where I have to pat it. I am of the mind that if I were to get near lava, I think I would have quite an overwhelming desire to touch it. Is anyone else out there like that? I just think it's so cool. The way it bubbles up and it moves. It's kind of like touching mercury, maybe. I had that sensation when I watched a neighbor making glass beads. Although I must say I held off. I didn't touch the hot glass, but it's the same sensation. It's just so fluid. You just want to touch it. Anyway, that is not why you tuned in, is it? Okay, so here's another one. Kind of got this one backwards too, but it will work. Didn't dry my hair, I'm remembering. Okay, let's see if we can do a better job of squaring this one up. Here we go. There we go. Hey, who's out there? KB again. She says, I love that you're out there. You should call in. Congratulations on fixing of the mower doohickey. Very impressive. Thank you. And she's, KB knows me. That's not my forte, but I'm having to do it because, you know, I also had to fix my sewing machine here. A few weeks ago, it just was out of sync. I know I talked about it with my hands and all saying doohickey 3 times. And I ended up having to re-level. I fixed it myself. I re-leveled it. So I had to use a a wrench. This is ridiculous. I had to just use a wrench and a level. And I got that redone. And then I had to recalibrate the computer system. Worked like a charm. I love my Gamel. Whoops. But thank you, KB. My sister and my mother are much more mechanical, or they have worked at it. Okay, so we have 2. I'm a latecomer to this, but you know what? I seriously did give myself a little talking to, which was, in the past, I've just never taken the time to learn how things work mechanically. But I really gave myself a talking to that there's no reason why I couldn't figure it out. If I just got a little more patient and knew that it would be frustrating, that it might be frustrating. So maybe that's what we should do this week. We should remind ourselves to go do something new that maybe we hadn't thought of doing in a while. Learning something new. I tell you what my husband has learned recently. He's learned the beauty of online libraries. He's been reading his books online instead of, not a week goes by when we would have to look at the library schedule. When are we going to go get our books? I told you he stopped letting me use his card a while back because I was getting late on my books. Because it is fun to touch the real books too. So anyway, now let's see if we can get this to work. This one looks a little different. Oh, shoot. Okay. This might work. Still be a better way to do this. Use a bigger piece of fabric. Don't worry about it. Oh, I had a door-to-door salesman come to the door today while I was working, and I used that as an excuse. It was a bug exterminator person that didn't even come up in a car. He walked from the neighbors, and he said, "We're going to be in your neighborhood spraying for bugs." And he used some scare tactic, like he said that someone, and he used the neighbor's name, which I didn't like at all. He used the neighbor's name and said they have some nests or whatever he thought he saw on our house. And he wanted to come while they were out and spray our house too. He's probably right. We probably do need it. But I was just wigged out by the fact that some stranger could walk up. And I know it's ridiculous. But I told him I was busy working. And that I was very sorry, but I could not entertain the discussion of bugs right now. But that's probably another thing that I should take the time to learn about. Last week on Fibercast, I did feel like I was on paper piecing fire. Everything was working. This week, not so much. I feel like this is a harder one. They're kind of awkward shapes. Ooh, and I hear Bob. I think he just pulled up. So he doesn't know I'm recording, so he may come up and say hi. Just so you know. Who's doing the Splendid Sampler? There we go. Okay, so we're getting there. I promise I'll have something to show in a minute. 1, 2, 3, just one more. That. That. Finger press that open. And let's go over here. I think this will work. Do it that way. That won't work. If I do it this way, this may or may not work. Let's see. So we'll cut off the excess. It didn't work. See, I needed the white to come down straight this way on the back, and it didn't. On an angle, it's funny. So we will just pull it apart. Okay. Here we go. Here's a nice big piece. Just plain wacky. So. Oh, I need to go check and see if anyone's written in. Send me what pictures of what you're working on to lynn@simplycolorful.com. And if by chance you're watching this on Memorex, send a picture anyway, and I'll show it next week. We do Fibercast every Friday night, most Friday nights, usually at 8, but there are always changes, like tonight. Hi, honey. He's working in the other room. Okay. So. That. Next step is to put these all together. Oh. Thank you to Jean for sending over the instructions for the Kona 1 yard challenge. We had a viewer, and I'll pull it up in a minute, from down on the Cape who was interested in that challenge for her Thursday night group. And it's really a fun one. I'll read it to you. Okay. Before I go check the email, let's take a look and see if we know how to put this together. Okay. There we go. We just have to sew that together. Yay! Okay. Let's see who's out there. Oops. Hello. Oh, Dawn. Hello, Dawn. Thank you for taking the coupons for machine quilting and for the t-shirt for this fall's quilt show. Hey, people are out there. Carol, hi. Carol says early tonight. Hi, Lynn and all Fibercasters. What a lovely surprise to catch you early tonight. Well, isn't that nice? What is it, 10 o'clock maybe your time over in the UK? She says, I haven't been doing a lot of piecing this week as I'm determined to finish the bindings on the baby quilts I'm making. And I've also been practicing using my Westerly rulers. I have to say they are fun to use. Ooh, I'm going to have to check this out. That's with your new long arm, right? Westerly rulers. Do you know I've yet to use rulers, and I'm this close. It's just that on this machine, well, I've always had excuses. I have to put a bigger plate on the bottom for the ruler to sit on. And then I also have to get one of the ruler feet that's a little bit thicker so I don't run over rulers. I think that's what I need, right? But Westerly rulers, I'm going to check that out. Thank you, Carol. Oh, she says, and how exciting getting close to the mystery. I know, right? I keep thinking I would like to do the Dear Jane quilt, but I have to be good. LOL. Enjoy the baby shower. She says, I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. It's a twist on a baby shower, so I think it'll be okay. And my cousin is a good cook, including desserts. So I think I'll be okay. Oh, I'm so glad you're out there. Westerly rulers. I will check that out, and we'll look forward to seeing more of your work. I just love those balloon quilts you've been making. Sue! Oh, Sue, this is awesome. Sue says, I came home after work and went straight to the quilt room to finish K1. Well, actually, I checked the mail for bills first. Here it is. Happy Friday, everyone. Let's sew. Look at how beautiful that is. You did a great job. See, and there she is. Hi, Sue. What a great picture. Hi. You did great, and I love your labels. You're amazing. Happy weekend. Enjoy every minute. I can't wait to see pictures of your garden. Sue has the most amazing perennial gardens. Oh, Kathy. Hey, Kathy K. She says, hi, Lynn. I'm happy to join you this afternoon. She's making Dear Jane blocks. She says, I recently finished D2, Mouse in a Mirror. She says, I started making blocks in 2007, doing a few each year. She says, you have motivated me to set a goal of finishing the quilt, excuse me, in 2020. Yes, Kathy K. in Central Illinois. Kathy, you and me both. And Sue is spurring us on. I love that. Love, love, love it. What beautiful work you do. Perfect. Mouse in the Mirror. Block D2. And Anne, also over the pond, she says, hi, Lynn and all Fibercasters. So great the message popped up and let me know you were starting. I was just about to pack up and head up to bed, LOL. I wonder if you're looking at this in your sewing room or if you're up in bed with a tablet. I love to hear where people are. It cracks me up. because I watch things. I'm always forever watching penguin and fish on this in my bed. Anyway, she says, I've been playing catch and says, reports, I've been playing catch up on the 100 blocks in 100-day quilts. Quilt along with Tula Pink's 100 Modern Quilt Blocks book. She says, I missed the start and started on day 9, but tonight I got the first 3 done along with today's block. So I've picked up 4 of the 4 blocks. I'm just using my stash in little bits. These are interesting blocks so far. Well done on fixing your mower, but that's what my son's for, as he is a power mechanic or a mower mechanic. Are you kidding? Oh, I wish he could come over. I do have a good try at doing lots of things if I can. That's good, right? Hope everyone has a lovely weekend. Love and quilty hugs, Anne. And I've been not sharing your picture, have I? Because it's so pretty. I love these. So these are 4 of the 100 blocks to do in 100 days with Tula Pink. And Anne has done these the first 4. And I love them just with the bits in your stash. Very nice. They look similar, don't they? But they're not. They're different sizes, I can see, but they've got most of them. 3 of them have the cross. Oh, you'll have to keep us posted on this. Thanks for writing in and sleep tight. Love it. Okay. Let's figure out how to sew this Y seam. I think, well, I'm just going to do it one at a time. That's how we're going to do it. And we're going to stop at the points. How hard could this be? Sandra, how hard could this be? Piece of cake. Not. This is where I am going to put my stitch length up to maybe 2. And I'm not backtracking on either end, so I have some wiggle room. You know what I mean? But if I need to pull back the seam on the corner to get my other one in, I can. Okay, that was the easy part. Now, oh, this might be okay, because the inner part, the inner square is very malleable because it doesn't have paper behind it. So let's line up the corner. And I'm stopping right at the corner because the last thing I want to do is catch my front piece in it. And I think we're good. And now let's try this. Probably should be doing this way. Okay, moment of truth. Well, kind of got it, but what's up with this? This doesn't look straight. I think what I'll do is I'll keep going and then I'll square it up. Lots of fabric. But this is fun. This is a challenge. I like it. It's on both blocks, so I don't know quite. Turn that back on. And we'll keep going. Okay. Ding. Well, I think on this fiber cast, because this is kind of a complicated block with these Y seams, I think we're only going to be able to do one block tonight. That's okay. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. There's that. And we're going to move it over here. This is not so good. You know what I might do? I might hand sew this down. So rather than using my machine, I'm just folding that over and I will hand sew that down. I'll pin it just so we have it pinned. And really, in a perfect world, I probably should be hand piecing this together. One more. Let's see if we can get this one anywhere near. Great place. Okay, there's that. Okay, here we go. Okay. I think this corner will look good. Yay. Look at that, huh? Okay. Okay. Well, this might lay flat or it might not. Okay. There we go. Well, it's a little skewed, but here's the back. Okay, I'm gonna try and push it right down. It doesn't look that flat though. But maybe after I take the paper off, it's better. That's better. Okay. All right. I'm going to take the paper off and I do it flat, and then I do the hand sewing. It'll be better. Sometimes this is like, it goes that way. So while we still have a minute or two left, let's write in our diary. What should we say? I think we should definitely talk about James and Caitlin's baby. Okay, so we're going to put this here. That's going to look cool together. Today is the 20th of July, 7/20/18. Made on Fibercast. Carol and Anne were still up because we started early. That's really not true. You guys are up even later, but because we started early at 5, because this will be a run-on sentence, because Bob and I had the baby queue for James and Caitlin. What else? Beautiful day. It's summertime. Oh, we talked about the Patreon 2018 brown bag mystery, and how next week I will share with you what the brown bag looks like, and I will suggest to you to sign up for Patreon so that you can receive a brown bag in the mail, and we'll go from there. So I want to thank you for joining me. I think it's time. It feels like it's been about an hour. I can't really tell. I can't see over there. Let's look here. Yeah, it's about time. We did a block. I loved being with you. Thanks for joining me. Have a great weekend and a great next week. And I'll see you next Friday night. I really, really, really do think at 8 p.m. next Friday night. Bye, everyone. Have a great week.